Now on Denver 7 News at 4, Operation London Bridge is in effect.
As the Queen herself did with such unswerving devotion, I too now solemnly pledge myself, throughout the remaining time God grants me, to uphold the constitutional principles at the heart of our nation.
We take a look at how the late Queen Elizabeth II is honored, while Great Britain starts a new era.
Opioid overdoses continue to rise, especially among teens. More schools are starting to keep Narcan in classrooms because of this. We'll take a look at the impact that this is having. And kids from low-income or communities of color are more likely to not be able to swim, and that puts them at risk of drowning. The new effort to expand access to lessons and change these statistics.
Plus, the clock is ticking for over 100 Coloradans experiencing homelessness to find a new place to sleep.
Now I'm going to be in the streets, no places to eat, no places to get clean water.
The demand for action to keep a safe haven's doors open for just a little longer. Thank you for joining us. I'm Micah Smith. First at 4, Britain's new monarch, King Charles III, delivered his first official address to the nation and Commonwealth today. The Queen's eldest son ascended the throne immediately after his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, died yesterday, surrounded by family in Scotland. This new era, marking the first time in 70 years, a man is sitting on the British throne. The king also announced his son, Prince William, and wife, Duchess Kate, as the new Prince and Princess of Wales. King Charles will officially be proclaimed at an event tomorrow, which will be televised for the first time in British history.
Today, for many across the world, in the United Kingdom and here in our country, the death of Queen Elizabeth feels personal. In London today, tens of thousands of people made their way to Buckingham Palace in what became a somber tribute to the Queen. You are taking a look here at video of King Charles looking at all of the flowers outside of the palace, honoring his mother as he arrived there today. Our Chris Conti is in London with the tributes to the only monarch that most people ever knew before her death.
In the United States, we're used to 21 gun salutes. Here in London today, though, that was a 96 gun salute for Her Majesty the Queen. One blast for every year of her life. And along the way today, we met many Americans who have altered their vacation plans so they could witness history.
We just happened to get here yesterday and saw the news.
Rick Rohr and his wife Ingrid found their way to Hyde Park on Friday morning. The couple is from Boulder, Colorado, just outside Denver. After the Queen died yesterday, they altered travel plans so they could come to London.
We just wanted to feel what it was like to be here with all these thousands and thousands of people.
The park we met Rick and Ingrid in was just a few blocks from Buckingham Palace. Thousands of people crammed into a tiny corner of this park to catch a glimpse of the first in what will be more than a week of memorials for the Queen. Queen Elizabeth's body is still in Scotland, but that did not keep throngs of passionate mourners from making the journey to Buckingham Palace today. The crowds were at times so deep you could barely move, a testament to the impact Britain's longest ruling monarch had on her country.
And you see the television shows where there's a change in monarchy, but now it's actually happening. So
a changing of the guard as people witness a monumentally historic time for this country. In London, I'm Chris Conti.
All right, Chris, thank you. Now, as King Charles III has taken the throne, many are wondering what the future will look like for the British monarchy. History experts say Elizabeth spent most of her 70 years on the throne away from controversy, but the same can't be said for her children. Now, as far as the reach of the monarchy, history experts say the Commonwealth could change. Experts say the Black Lives Matter movement brought a renewed focus on the history of slavery and colonialism, especially in Africa and the Caribbean.
The former colonies, particularly the slave colonies, were unhappy with the relationship between the Commonwealth realms in Britain, but particularly with the monarchy, and the monarchy for really failing to acknowledge and also to apologize for the colonial past.
Experts think that King Charles III will streamline the monarchy, especially when it comes to money and power, but it could go beyond that.
In the next few months and years, I hope the conversation will turn to discussing why is it that we have a monarchy in the 21st century? And is this institution fit for the modern world, or is it something of an anachronism?
Research shows about 60% of British people support keeping the monarchy.
Here at home, the British Girls Group in Denver held a special tea event in honor of Queen Elizabeth II this morning. The group is made up of about 200 British expats who now call Denver home. Now, during the event, members drank tea and watched King Charles III deliver his first speech following the death of his mother. Many members told us they're still in shock that Britain will no longer be ruled by the Queen.
And I think the biggest shock for me was more hearing the new King Charles III, hearing that as a new, even though we always knew Charles was going to take the throne, to hear his full title was kind of like, oh gosh, this is happening now.
While everyone at the event said this is a sad day for Britain, they also expressed conflicting emotions over the Commonwealth's history of colonization. I'm taking a closer look at the British traditions, both celebrated and criticized, tonight on Denver 7 News at 6. Other news we're following: evacuations have been downgraded for the CR21 fire in Larimore County. Fire officials say the cooler temperatures are helping keep the fire at about 600 acres. There were still 60 fire personnel there this morning monitoring it. Anyone that lives in the area south of County Road 66 all the way up to Highway 287 are now in voluntary evacuation zones. At last check, the fire was 30% contained.
Today, people around the world helped finish Liza's run. It's been a week since police say Memphis jogger Eliza Fletcher was abducted and killed while on a run. You're taking a look at video here of people honoring her in her hometown of Memphis. Authorities say Fletcher was on her usual running route early last Friday when a man forced her into an SUV. Her body was found days later. The suspect is being held without bond. Her funeral is tomorrow. 21 years since the September 11th terror attacks, one man is making sure we never forget.
I'm keeping this thing alive for the generation that's coming up behind us. And I see these families with their kids. They had no idea what 9/11 was.
The unique way that he is also helping others heal from that day.
Also coming up, what was supposed to be an easy installment turned into a broken water line and hefty bill. Contact Denver 7 tries to get answers.